Fauci added $5 million in wealth during the pandemic. His net worth skyrockets to $12.6 million. I'm going to read you the conservative brief. So, Dr. Tony Fauci is by far the highest paid federal official, and he has grown incredibly wealthy on a taxpayer-funded salary during his 50-plus years in government. According to the Open Books, an organization that focuses on government spending transparency, Fauci, head of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, since Ronald Reagan's first term in the early 1980s, grew his personal wealth by some $5 million during the C-19 pandemic to top out at around $12.6 million. Here's a quote. Last night, our auditors at the Open Books received Dr. Anthony Fauci's FY 2021 financial disclosures from his government position. It's been a dogfight to open the books on the Fauci finances. For example, our organization has filed 4 federal lawsuits versus NIH to open the books. He went on to post more details about Fauci's finances. Between January 1st, 2019 to December 31st, 2021, his net worth increased $7.6 million. Just before and then just, 2021, December, so quite a last year. Fauci continued to be the most highly compensated federal employee, earning $456,000 in 2021 and $480,000 in 2022. Fauci out-earned the president, 4-star generals, and roughly 4.3 million other federal bureaucrats. In 2021, Fauci augmented his government income with nearly $1 million in prizes from nonprofit organizations around the world. So he's getting $1 million from nonprofits as rewards for prizes, you could call them, just quotations. For example, the Dan David Foundation, based in Israel, awarded Fauci $901,400 for speaking truth to power and, quote, defending science during the Trump administration. So again, political payouts. In 2021, the pandemic continued the Fauci household. The income, perks, and benefits, as well as unrealized investments, grew $2.8 million, $2,832,000 in worth. That included federal benefits and income totaling $903,000. Outside travel perks and royalties added another $919,205, which he earned $910,000 in investment income. So obviously insider, we call it insider trading, but when you're dealing with government, they just call it being smart. Using the advantages of the rules that they're creating and investing beforehand. They know what businesses are going to make money. So you create your own business or you invest with somebody who has that business, because you're going to make a stipulated government rule, not legal, that is going to make these businesses profitable. Fauci's wife, Christina Grady, is the chief bioethicist at the National Institute of Health. In July, a report from Politico revealed that Fauci, the chief medical officer to the President of the United States, said he will retire by the end of Biden's term, following more than 5 decades of federal service under 7 different presidential administrations. This guy's 81 years old. The 81-year-old had been director of National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, the NIAID, since 1984, Reuters reported. He became the face of American government's policies regarding efforts to mitigate the coronavirus pandemic in 2022. Fauci had worked for over 50 years in the American public health sector, advising every president since Reagan during the C-19 pandemic. Dr. Fauci was a leading figure on both Trump and Biden's coronavirus response team, Fox News reported. In his interview with Politico, Fauci spoke about coronavirus and what's in store for his future. We're in a pattern now. If somebody says you'll leave when you don't have COVID anymore, then I'll be 105. I think we're going to be living with this, he said. What we have right now, I think we're almost at a steady state. So yeah, forever. Okay. Now, some Republicans are not likely to simply allow Fauci to slip out of DC if they regain control of Congress during the midterms. Kentucky Republican Senator Rand Paul accused Fauci and other government health officials of taking the wrong approach in assessing C-19, those things, by refusing to consider people's prior infections. During a hearing, a Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee, the Kentucky Republicans suggested that government shots committee members have not disclosed whether they receive any royalties from companies making the injections. Pulse says they will launch an investigation if Republicans win back control of the Senate. So they're going to investigate who is getting royalties from these injection companies. We've been asking you, and you refuse to answer whether the Irnieracing committee gets royalties from the pharmaceutical companies, Paul said. I said it by mistake. Well, it should be okay. I asked you last time, and what was your response? We don't have to tell you. We've demanded them through the Federal Information Act, and what you said, we're not going to tell you. But I tell you this, when we get in charge, we're going to change the rules, and you will have to divulge where you get your royalties from what companies, and if anybody in the committee has a conflict of interest, we're going to learn about it. I promise you that, Paul added. So anyways, guys, a little information on the financials of Fauci. So in 2 years, $7 million, not just from his big paycheck from the government, but from his investments, from his partnerships, from prizes, and from royalties, and from payouts. Simple as that. This is Marcel with Irnieracing News. I think it's September 30th, 2022.